which stocks are bargains in this market, which ones are too toxic to touch. I need to emphasize again that the big risk from the coronavirus outbreak has to do with interrupted supply chains and a concomitant business slowdown worldwide. The Chinese government has imposed the largest quarantine in human history on its own people. And it turns out that American businesses, we now learned, are far too dependent on Chinese manufacturing for some really essential stuff. By the way, I'm very worried about pharmaceuticals. I mean, they make the majority, or at least the ingredients. That means we have to be careful. You don't want to buy something that's about to have its supply lines cut. Let me give you some examples. Now, anyone who watches this show knows that Apple to me is a terrific company, terrific stock, but I can't recommend buying it at this very moment because I think it could have more downside. I think some analysts could turn against it. I expect analysts to start downgrading the stock on supply chain worries, not to mention lost Chinese business. And that'll be your chance. Hey, by the way, we've gone over the component suppliers endlessly that I told you that I'm nervous about: Cirrus Logic, Skyworks Solution, NXP Semi, Qualcomm. Those are in the blast zone, and their stocks are not yet low enough to be worth picking at. They all rallied after phase one was agreed to in the trade war with China. Travel and leisure, they're still going to be under enormous pressure. Today was really day one of the accentuated weakness in Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and Norwegian cruise lines. How the heck were those cruise stocks able to stay so high last week after the tragic corona outbreak on Carnival's Diamond Princess, which turns out to be, of course, really maybe the worst thing that's happened in this whole epidemic? I'll say it again. You don't want to be stuck on a cruise ship in the middle of a pandemic. The numbers have to come down. I have no doubt that cruise traffic will eventually make a comeback, but think about it. It took Chipotle, a fantastic company, 18 months to recover from its last big healthcare scare. I mean, the scare was terrible. In December of a couple of years, it took 18 months from when they had it. It was up in Boston, remember? So why should the cruise lines be any different? Give them 18 months, for heaven's sake. Meanwhile, the casinos with lots of exposure to Macau sold to you. I mean, the Chinese gambling havens, they're nightmares. Think Wynn, Las Vegas Sands. But on the other hand, what's being brought down with them? Because it's part of the industry's Penn National. That's a much more domestic operator. It could be very good, especially now it's got partnership with Barstool, and a lot of people talking about the NFL and gambling. How about the airlines? Man, air traffic will be down so much that you need to expect another round of estimate cuts that will take the stock still lower. I wouldn't touch a hotel name here, especially the hotels with lots of exposure to China or Chinese tourists. Those all need to be sold, even with their stocks already down a great deal. Frankly, anything travel-related is just bad news.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.